All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's good to be with everyone. Thanks for listening to our fireside chat here. I wanted to quickly just introduce our kind of theme for this fireside chat, and then I'll turn it over to my panelists to introduce themselves. The theme here in this particular chat is around how you can retell your brand story, but also how you can fold in some social impact elements to that. So I'll just quickly introduce myself. John Chapman, as we just mentioned, president and co-founder of Everfi. I run a lot of our partnerships that are in the social impact space. We are a social impact company. We run schools programs on behalf of brands all across the country, including most of the major professional sports leagues in North America, as well as those in many of those in Europe and around the world. So we've got a unique perspective into how social impact can fold in, particularly in the sports brand world, as well as many corporations. So that's a little bit about my perspective on that, and I'll try to lead some good questions and conversations today with my panelists so they can really tell their stories. So why don't you both introduce yourself first? Maggie, want to go first?
Yeah, great. I'm Maggie. I lead advertising and social media at United Airlines. We definitely couldn't go it alone. We have wonderful partners in 72andSunny, our creative agency of record. So super excited to be able to share the stage today.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Tahirah Edwards Byfield, creative director at 72andSunny. Obviously, I adore working on United. It's been really fun being here today because I am not a sports marketer. But I adore sports marketing with almost an anthropological POV towards it, the way it drives up emotion. I've worked on Nike, Team USA, and Asics before, but I like bringing a lens to it that's all about what sports makes us feel.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So don't call me like a substitute teacher who plays too many videos during class. I do have a few videos for you today that I think bring the topics and the work that both us at Everfi as well as United and 72andSunny have participated in. So I'm going to start with the United overview.
Can I give a little preview?
Go ahead, please do. Yeah.
So we love a good sizzle reel. So, I'll just preface this by saying we had lost our way a little bit at United, especially when it came to how we talk about our sports sponsorships. My colleague Jen is in the audience. Her and her team do an amazing job on covering these platforms and teams and leagues and cultural institutions that we should work with. And then we get a lot of advertising assets out of that. And you'll see some examples at the start of the video that truly were just a blue background with a bunch of heavy copy on it. And we were kind of mailing it in, I would say, when it came to utilizing these amazing assets that we get through our sponsorship deals. So we truly took the pandemic to reframe absolutely everything that we do at this airline, from how we operate, but truly how we market. And that included how we approach these sports sponsorships. So you'll see a ton of what we've done on social with the actual advertising assets, and hopefully see a real glow up and a change in what we've done.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Maggie. Hopefully this works.
Oh, no. You gotta be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me.
It's got room. It's at the 50, 45, 40, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, United!
Welcome, everyone, to United Airlines Field at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum.
Well, I think Jordan Ashton may finally be happy with his NIL deal at Southern Cal. He has inked one with United Airlines.
United donated $500,000 to support 50 different HBCU golf programs.
Golf is ours.
Golf is black.
Golf is mine.
Golf is for all of us.
Return to glory.
Mark Ingram complaining that his bags get lost by United Airlines. You change your your name and avatar with the blue check mark, so if you don't see the @Joel91, it looks like United Airlines is responding. You're rich, buy clothes. Fantastic.
Roberts' home run tree.
All right.
Thanks, thank you.
Really great. So let's unpack a few things from that video because I think it has a lot of really great stuff in it. First of all, just tell us the Mark Ingram, Chris Long story, just because I think it's funny and I want everyone to appreciate how cool it is, and then we'll get into more of the strategy on your socials.
I know it went by fast. So basically, Mark Ingram was flying United, and I don't want to throw him under the bus, but he attempted to check in like 17 minutes before his flight, and so the bags did not make it, and he tweeted at us that he had lost his luggage. We had lost his luggage, and he was upset. And so Chris Long, who a lot of you know, former NFL player, current podcaster, all-around practical jokester, he changed his name and image on Twitter to be United Airlines and to put up our logo and tweeted at Mark, "You're rich, buy clothes." And so obviously, if you're just scrolling really quickly through your Twitter feed, it looks like United Airlines is, saying that to Mark Ingram. And so we had a real moment where we thought, okay, what do we do here? Someone's impersonating us. Normally when that happens on Twitter, we involve our legal team and we call up our rep at Twitter. But we thought we can't do that here because Barstool Sports was already Big Cat was, tweeting all about this. And we thought we really need to lean into this moment. And that is different than how we would have reacted, a couple of years ago. So we actually put up that Spider-Man meme of, the different Spider-Man. And we were like, who's United Airlines here? Is it us? Is it Chris Long? And actually what we uncovered in talking to him behind the scenes and doing some research, that's not the first time he had done that. He had impersonated one of our competitor airlines about a year prior, and it was not received well. He got a cease and desist letter from them. And so imagine when United played along with the joke, and he even tweeted, "Wow, I thought I was going to get banned, and I love an airline that has a sense of humor." We went back and forth with Chris, and the funniest part in all this, I was working on this with one of my colleagues, and I got an alert on my phone on the ESPN mobile app that this was actually one of the kind of breaking news. Chris Long impersonates United Airlines, and I thought that's just the coolest thing. And one of the coolest things about what we do, we did not wake up that day, trying to kind of break the internet in a good way and have this. It was something that fell into our laps, and we totally took advantage of it.
Oh, that's great. It's really, good on you all for, leaning into it and seeing those kind of really great outcomes. I wanted to follow up on that, though, and just have you comment a little bit on how, as you saw in that video, your brand has utilized your strength in social media and a lot of the ways in which you, I think, cleverly interact with some of the ways in which you've folded in some of your brand partnerships. Talk a little bit about that and how you think about the point of view of the fan.
Yeah, that's exactly right. To us, it's the lowest hanging fruit. I mean, we can comment on social, it doesn't cost us anything, but truly it's been one of the most valuable things. And you saw in the video, Trevor, who I called out earlier, my teammate who does a lot of these really witty sports themed comments, he put something funny on one of the USC Instagram posts about one of their touchdowns. USC then turned that into static content. They took the United comment and, put that up as a second Instagram post. And that's just beyond our wildest dreams. But we're having so much fun. We do have a member of our team who's dedicated to more of that sports lens and obviously knows, okay, these are the 7 NFL teams we sponsor. These are the games they have. This is, the 2 teams that made it far into the playoffs. And so how can we have a plan, to make sure that we're commenting, we're having fun? You really have to be a sports fan and know the team. We do not want to comment with a ton of airline puns. We want to avoid, the cliche stuff where we can. So I'm a sports fan, Trevor's a sports fan. We talk to, friends of ours on the sponsorship team to really make sure that we're bringing something witty, authentic. And our goal with that is to go to new corners of the internet. We call them the Av Geek, Aviation Geek. That's our audience on Instagram that follows United Airlines. They love airplanes and airplane photos. We have that cornered. We want to go to different realms of the internet and get people to say, that's United Airlines, or I didn't think they'd do that, with Chris Long and Mark Ingram, and then ultimately have them follow our brand.
That's great. That's great. I want to shift gears to hear to you as the 72andSunny is the agency of record for United. Maybe comment on a couple things. One, how you all have thought and contributed to some of this brand transitioning, but also talk a little bit as we transition into some of the work that United's done with golf and the HBCUs, which I'll play a little visual for in a moment. Talk a little bit about how you all have contributed to that messaging.
Yeah, for sure. I think what is really cool, even just to quickly double click on the social conversation, is, I think on the talk earlier today on the anatomy of the fan with Jennifer and Ryan, having a lens of just, this is a brand that is a force for good. And we launched that with the campaign Good Leads the Way that 72andSunny have done in partnership with United. But it's imbued in everything, right? It's like, how can we show up in a good, authentic way for our sports fans? Like, authenticity and intentionality very much underpins everything that we do. And what's been so cool for me, I was joking with Hunter and Paula just before on your team, as a creative director, I always would be sneaking ideas in the deck that are like, hey, let's do some good. Have you thought about diversifying this? Or what about I don't know, accessibility? And it's like, in our creative dev and other clients just were like, yeah, cool, that sounds great. Okay, let's focus on the ad. And it is electrifying for me that I get to work on a brand that is already doing the social good. I spoke before about my obsession with the dialing up the emotion and making sure we tell that story in an emotionally resonant way. For me, that's what I get to do, right? And that is what we got to do when we're looking at our sports sponsorships, relationships, and partnerships and things like that. So.
That's great. That's great. Well, what I'm going to do and tee up, if that's okay, I think this is a good time to do a golf spot that features the work that you all have put together with HBCUs, and then we'll talk a little bit about that after we play that.
Yes.
So here we go. Hopefully this works.
Golf is mine. It's in the way I swing, the way I move that leaves you no choice but to ask,
who is that?
When I step on the turf,
it's not with caution, but with pride and with power. Golf is ours.
Golf is black.
Golf is mine. Golf is for all of us.
Awesome. I really like that spot a lot. And I want to go back to you, Tahirah, to start with some commentary. Then I'll go back to you, Maggie, to talk a little bit about how it folds into your campaign. Tell us a little bit about that spot, what you thought about putting into it, what some of the images would walk us through that.
Maggie, how many years has United been a PGA sponsor, roughly?
I'm going to look at Jen.
It's been a long time, right? And so you were talking before about some of those bad, aviation puns, bad sports puns,
I'll chime in with what our go-to ad for the PGA sponsorship previously was, they drive, we fly.
Exactly. And so when we look at this repositioning that United has done around really going, okay, how can we be as impactful as possible, taking $500,000, now even more, but $500,000 at the time of the sponsorship funds they give to the PGA Tour, and reallocating that to do something impactful to a community of young golfers who are often underrepresented was huge. And I'm like, cool, I can talk about that. That's great. That's easy. We can figure this out. And for us, it was like, well, we have to talk about it, and it can't be just a static piece of media. We need to go and talk to some of these young people who have actually been impacted by it. And so we went to Maryland, and those are UMed students, and interviewed them. We shot with a black director, we were a black crew, like we were intentional all the way through to make sure that we were really telling the story as authentically as possible. But even beyond that, before we even got to production, we worked so closely together as in 72andSunny and United with both of our internal employee resource groups around the black community. We worked with Roger Still, who is a golfer that United have been working closely with, just to really be informed in how we approach this, so that it felt resonant for the community. And we knew it would ruffle some feathers because, you know, one of the kids says golf is black. The spot was going to be called golf is black for a while, you know, and like, when we think about standing behind like our belief systems and going, hey, like our belief is that like golf is for everyone and should be accessible for everyone, and allowing the young people to say it in their own voice was just really important for us.
That's great. And Maggie, what would you add to that in terms of why it was important to fold this piece of the partnership into your brand?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best examples we have of good leads the way really being a through line through everything we do at United. You know, we talk about good leads the way means that our app, if you have the United app and you're stuck in a middle seat and a window or aisle becomes available, we will notify you, go get out of that middle seat. But good leads the way also, you know, is this example here and some of the work that Jen talked about with the franchise fund, with the Warriors. And the best part in building this campaign, and I think, you know, Jen alluded to it earlier, this isn't a promise, you know, for the future. And we've had some advertising in the past that I think was a little guilty of, you know, here's a product that's coming and it's not there today. These are things the brand was already doing. It's a dream situation as a marketer to be in because I'm not having to, you know, fudge anything or kind of big up anything. The receipts are there, whether it's what we're doing with sustainability, with, you know, building a diverse pipeline for pilots, what we're doing with our sports sponsorships. So it's such an authentic, real, you know, story to tell. And we like to think of it as, you know, a modern day storybook. Each of these stories is honestly another chapter for us.
That's so great. Well, I know we're short on time, so I'm going to just shamelessly end with one more video.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is, I say shamelessly because this is my company, Everfi, which may be slightly less known than United Airlines, but we do some really innovative work around folding brands into social impact by bringing them into schools. And I'm not sure which one's teed up first. I have two, but we'll just play one in the interest of time to show you that, and then that'll be the end of our panel.
Trophies, awards, medals.
They're the ultimate reward for an athlete.
They show your hard work paid off.
They acknowledge your desire to be the best.
In a game of life, there are also trophies, but they look much different.
They look like an organized financial plan to pay for your college, maybe even graduate school.
They look like a credit score that gets you a better rate on a car.
Buying a house is a trophy.
Starting your own business is a championship trophy.
To help students gain the financial savvy to succeed at life, UBS has teamed with Everfi and the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference to create Elevate, an online learning platform designed to help you level up both your financial game and your mental game.
Elevate delivers personalized financial training, access to wellness workshops, and career development programs, all for free and designed exclusively for SIAC communities.
Making the time to invest in your financial education now can set you up for financial freedom in the future. And financial freedom, that's the ultimate trophy. Get started today at ubs.com/elevate.
All right, so that is, for those who don't know, former NFL player Wale Agunule. I was just with him last weekend at the NHL All-Star Game. He's an awesome spokesperson for this program in integrating financial education with obviously what UBS does as a financial services firm, and then obviously the partnership with SIAC, which is similar to what United is doing with HBCUs, supporting those student athletes and creating the metaphor of both their sporting life and their financial life. So thank you for indulging me on that. Thank you for listening to the two great panelists, and that wraps our session.
Hell yeah. Great panel. Give a round of applause.